Hey guys, Nate here again. Pick off where we left off. Um, we've been building a personal finance management app in React on the front end and Symfony on the back end. And so far what we've done is we've created this front end that has a budget and it has income items, income streams, so paycheck, investment income, consulting, and expenses. And this is all written in React, and we've implemented an API that allows us to fetch this budget. Now I think it's time to take a look at the persistence layer. So we're going to take our budget and save it to a database and then read from a database. And if we have time, we'll even get into updating that budget. So let's get going. Alright, so here's the front end app that we were talking about. Let's go ahead. We've already installed MySQL, or MariaDB rather. And if you want to take a look at how to do that, that was in the last video, part 2. So this is going to be smooth sailing, I think. We're going to use Doctrine, which is Symfony's default ORM, and the only ORM I can really recommend using for PHP. Let's see. So first thing we need to do is create an entity. So our budget looks like this. It's an object with a property called income streams that contains an array that is an array rather of income streams, and same for expenses. So we're going to go ahead and just add an entity called budget, and the documentation's telling us we want to put it in the source app bundle entity directory. I guess we need to create a folder entity, and then we want to create an entity called budget. Yep, hit that. Can I change that? No. So I have to go. Budget is going to have two properties. It's going to have income streams. That's going to be an array. And it's going to have, how do you do this? Private income streams. No, we want public though. Public, is that right? No, I guess they can be private. And expenses. And we need semicolons because we're in PHP. Now we need to add our mapping information. Before we do that, I think we want to create all of our entities. So we have budget, which is the container for income streams and expenses. But then we also have an object here called an income stream and an object here called an expense. So let's just duplicate this because it's already close. Income stream and expense. We need to go in here and change that. Income stream has it has 4 properties right now. It has a key, but that really is, it's probably going to map to ID on the background, on the back, I don't know. It has amount, it has a name, and frequency. So that's going to make up our income stream, and then our expense has everything less the frequency. That's just kind of the structure that we came up with in the last two videos. So what we need to do to tell Doctrine that this is going to map to a database collection is sorry, before we need to add our namespace here, or Composer won't know where we are, right? Take a look at this namespace. We want to app bundle controller. The namespace lets Composer, the autoloader, know where to find classes. So that's where we are. We need that in, we need both of these lines in all of our entities, I guess. Now we need this. So this is going to tell Doctrine, which is our ORM, the database abstraction layer that creates database tables for us and allows us to persist our entities to the database. We need to tell it that our entities are entities by providing this annotation. And the second annotation here is going to explicitly define what table you want it to be called in the database. So we want to call our income stream, I think that's appropriate. We'll need to do this for all of ours. So we have expense, and I don't know if we want to pluralize the database tables or not. I think not for now. I don't know. It's always good about thinking, you know, would it be better to call this database table name budget or budgets? But I think we're going to call it budget for now. We can rename that later. I like it better. This ID field is going to be an auto-generated ID, and it's just going to be an incremental ID. The first income stream that we create is going to be ID 1, the second ID 2, and so on and so forth. All of these objects get an ID. All these entities get an ID, so just add that. Budget doesn't have one yet, it needs one. And then we can start mapping our columns. So this is an example of a string column. Name, we need that. So name is going to be a string of a maximum length of 100 characters. Frequency, okay, amount. This is perfect because this is actually monetary, decimal 2. That's what our amount is going to look like. Our amount is going to be a decimal with 2 places. Actually, you know what? Lately I've been preferring to use integers and storing the amount as cents. So we're going to call amount an integer, and amount is going to be the amount in cents. So instead of $1 equals 100 cents. So we're going to store it as 100 cents instead of $1. We're going to need that same annotation here in our expense. We need the same annotation for name in expense. And we need a frequency, which is just going to be, it's going to be an integer too, so easy. We're going to use the same annotation here. And this is going to be the frequency in months that we receive this income stream. Okay, so now we've got like some kind of documentation. Next thing we need to do is map our relation. So a budget's going to have one budget is going to have many income streams and many expenses. So let's take a look at how we do relationships with the ORM. Maybe we need to go to the doctrine. Doctrine one to many is the name of the relationship, I think. One to many, yeah, one to many, not many to one, right? User has, that's a many to one. Yeah, we don't want that. We want one to many. One to many bidirectional, unless you're using a join table. This is because, yeah, this can be bidirectional, I think. Sure. So, okay, so the annotation, our budget has multiple income streams, just like in the doctrine documentation. This product has multiple features. So let's go ahead and copy this annotation and mold it to our needs. So our target entity here is going to be income stream. That's the name of the entity that we created. And we're going to map this by budget. I mean, it doesn't even really... We're only ever going to be getting this one way. I don't know if we really need a relation back to the budget. Maybe it'll be good for reporting purposes or something later. And we also saw that it needs to be an array collection, not an array. So we're going to create a constructor this income streams equals new array collection, and we're going to do the same thing for expenses, new array collection, and then same here, except we're going to call it expense. And now we need to do the converse mapping. We need to map from our expense and our income stream to that budget. And we do that with these here. So we'll go to expense. I need to add budget. And now we can map that to a budget. This is called expenses. So if we go to budget, we can see it as a property called expenses. So we're mapping from budget to expense and from expense back to budget, just so that they both know how to find each other, basically, through the ORM. Okay, so there we go. We're going to call that column budget ID, and we're going to just take this whole deal here and copy that to income stream. It's going to be exactly the same for income stream. The relationship between an income stream and a budget is exactly the same as an expense and a budget, except maybe a different table. I don't know. We'll see. Did we change the table name? Expense, budget, income stream. Yep. All right. Well, I mean, we're getting there. I think now we need to run some kind of. Okay. Yeah. So now that we've created our schema, let's validate that our schema is correct. So we're going to go into the terminal in the directory of our API and just run this doctrine schema validate. And it says the annotation one-to-many and property it was never imported. That's because we're importing ORM here. So we need to prefix that annotation, this one-to-many, right there. so that the autoloader can find, or whatever Doctrine uses to find those classes can find it. So let's validate again. Okay, well, mapping is invalid. The mappings income streams and income stream budget are inconsistent with each other. The entity class budget mapping is invalid. The mappings app entity budget income streams are inconsistent with each other. Okay, that's because we copied this from, this is a copy paste error. This needs to be income streams to point to income streams on the budget here. So that's why we have this validate. Cool. I think this is good then. Schema. Now we want to create the schema, so we run this command. And we can do a dry run here, dump SQL, and this shows us all the database queries that it's going to run to create our schema. So you can see it creates a table called budget, which has an ID. It's going to create a table called expense, which has an ID, a budget ID, an amount, a name, and then it's going to create an income stream table, and then it's going to add foreign keys to our expense and income stream. So this looks good. Now we can run with the force flag, and this is actually going to create our schema. So let's log into MySQL and take a poke around and just see what we created here. So we're in Maria now, which is the same as MySQL. Show databases, right? Yeah. So we're going to use my money manager, and we're going to show tables. So look, it created us a table here. It created budget, expense, and income stream. Describe budget, describe expense, and describe income stream. And it looks like everything's good to go. See, we got name, amount, frequency for income stream, name, amount, and then they both relate to the budget. Beautiful. This is great. Okay, so we're good to go. We've created our database schema. Now let's work on actually persisting a database. Or persisting a budget to the database, and then after that we'll query. So let us see. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create on our budget controller. We already have this get budgets action, but now let's do a save budget action, and that's going to take a request. This request, I want this to be a post request, so I think we do method, might be wrong, but method post. So now we have a route where we can save a budget. We need to look at Symfony controller post body. I'm not sure if Symfony has anything like this. Param converter. Tells converters, convert request. It seems good-ish, right. We're not going to get this this into it, I think. Let's just look at the post body. So Symfony request post parse post body. Into the sound, 20 minutes. Parsing the request body. Okay. So it looks like I think it is essentially this. So this is going to be our post body or whatever. So we're going to post a JSON object representing the budget to this endpoint. Then we're going to create a new budget with that. Or maybe first we'll do some mapping. So post body should contain an array called income streams. And normally you would validate this, but we don't have time for that. It takes a callback first because it's PHP and it's weird. So we take the function income stream income streams. So this is going to map a JSON representation of an income stream to a new domain income stream object. And let's create a constructor that takes in an amount, a name, a frequency, and a budget, and then sets those. So amount is going to be an integer or int. How do you do scalar type hinting? Scalar type hints. Let's see. It is like that. We're not using. What version of PHP are we on? Okay, well, we'll get into type hinting maybe in another chapter. So we have a constructor now, and we can now create an income stream with income stream. It takes 4 arguments, right? An amount, a name, a frequency, and a budget. Oh. No. Doesn't take a budget because we don't. Oh, yeah. Maybe it does. We're going to create a budget first. We need that in our function here, so we're going to say use budget. And I forget the syntax, the PHP syntax, but yeah, what a nightmare. Okay, yeah. So income stream is going to take budget there as the 4th parameter. So we have amount, frequency, amount, name, frequency, and budget. So we're going to map from our JSON representation of this income stream to a domain object called income stream, which is a Doctrine entity. And we're going to do something almost exactly the same for expenses. We need to go and implement a constructor for our expense. We can just, again, rip off income stream, remove the frequency, and we should be all good to go just about. So it has an amount, a name, and a budget. That needs to be an expense. Oops, expense. Yeah. I'm type hinting these here just so nobody accidentally passes the wrong type of argument. This means that you have to pass a budget as this budget argument. And this helps the IDE know that this is a budget. So, okay. So totally optional, but good nonetheless. Okay, so now we're going to create a setter, and that's going to take an array of expenses, and it's going to set expenses. Hello? Okay, I'll see you soon. No worries. Alright, love you, bye. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Set expenses, and similarly, we're going to set income streams. And because we're good programming citizens, we're going to put the set income strings up top because income streams comes with 4 expenses here. Let's be consistent. Alright, there we go. So this is going to set the income streams on our object. Let's see here. So we want to do budget, set income streams that we already made, and budget, set expenses. What is this complaining about? Yes. Alright, so now we should have a fully formed domain budget. I don't know if it is or is not good to go, but we're going to find out here in a minute. So let's create, let's see, this is, I hope we still have that request body sitting around in here. Okay, cool. So this is what the request is going to look like. So I'm going to just create a file that has the request. So this describes our budget. This is what our API request is going to look like. We'll implement this on the front end later. We'll call this request.json. And now we should be able to curl curl a file post body, curl data path to file name. Let's see if this works. Data. Nate sites streaming. And then we need the URL, which is going to be, that's the URL our Symfony is running on. Just want to see if it doesn't blow up too bad. And you know what? It's not really happy here. I'd like to see what the error message is. Unknown property method on annotation. Wow. Yikes. Let's see. Can we still? Does our front end still work? No. Budget's broken, so method on annotation. Okay. Symfony specify HTTP method. Right. Symfony controller. And we want to find out how we have a post route, so method. Okay, so see, it's like that. It's a method, and then it's kind of weird syntax, so I'm going to copy that. So it's complaining that we added this method here. I wasn't sure if that was the right way to do that or not, but obviously wasn't. So we want post here, and we want get here. Let's see if that works better. So I'm just going to replay the request right here if it can. Oh, I'm using like an old version of Chrome or something, so it won't work. Getting that request. Okay. Annotation method is never being imported. So we need to go see route is here. Is method in the same directory? It is. So I'm going to just double that and method. Hey. Hey. Alright, so our API is working again. Let's see if we can post. We still can't post, looks like. And it's saying, oh, well, we're posting to the wrong endpoint here. Let's post to budget. Okay. Response.html. Let's open that up. Sites streaming. So the response we got back was this. Must return a response. Oh, easy. So we just forgot to say status success. No. Alright, cool. So we're able to create a budget object, and I think how to print PHP object, print R. Let's see if we can't see what our budget looks like. It's well, this is pretty messy, but it looks like we've got things, right? I mean, yikes, this is really ugly. Pretty useless, actually. Let's just try and persist it. So to persist, we need to get our entity manager, our Doctrine entity manager, which is responsible for persisting our entities. And don't need that. Don't need that. And we're going to persist our budget. And then we're going to flush our entity manager, which is going to save it to the database. So let's see what's going on here. Ooh, it's still not happy. They're supposed to call this unknown entity or configure cascade persist. So we need to persistence. Okay, our relationship. If we delete our budget, we want to remove the income stream. Now let's just cascade persist. So when we create a budget with income streams, we want, or expenses, we want to also save the income streams and expenses. So we add this right there. We're going to do the same for both our expenses and our income streams. And it might have worked. Let's, well, we're not getting our response back, which is a little dubious. What kind of response code do we see? Internal server error. Yeah, it's not good. Let's take a look at our logs. Ooh. Doesn't seem right. So we're gonna just tail our logs while we call this. So here's our Symfony logs, and then we're gonna curl again. So it's trying to insert how many bytes? It's insane that it takes up that much memory just to store the budget, but whatever. I think we need to configure something. There we go. YOLO, right? We don't need a memory limit. This needs to be right here, I think. So we're gonna get rid of our memory limit. Just let PHP do its thing. Doctrine is apparently a memory hog, or we're doing something wrong. I don't know. Commit is, wow, why is it? Getting ready to wrap this up here for the day, guys. I don't know what is going on, but let's see if we've created any income streams. Alright, well, yes. And we've created budget. Something bad is happening though. It's creating everything for us. Oh, but we're not seeing this. Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna get rid of that, maybe. Yep, there we go. Success. Success. We have our budget. It worked. So we've now persisted these. We can see that we just created budget number 5. And if we look at our income streams, whatever, it creates an income stream for paycheck and an income stream for investment income. Just like we wanted. So I think that's it for today. We created an endpoint that will accept a budget, persist it to the database, and mapped that onto a Doctrine entity so that we can use that in our API. So what we'll do next time probably is load the budget from the API, and then maybe or load the budget in the API from the database, and then maybe persist using the UI, and maybe even allow ourselves to update the budget or something like that. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching. Later.